There's some new MCU leaks making the rounds on the internet about a coming Marvel show. And believe it or not, there's actually other reports that seem to corroborate the validity of this leak. And the reason I'm even talking about this leak is because some of the things that might happen on the show are absolutely insane. Like, I know I say that a lot, but I'm serious this time. What's up, everybody? It's Josh. Welcome back to the channel. Blast that like button like you're Rob Liefeld blasting how Disney plans to use Deadpool. And let's get right into this video. Oh yeah, no, that's real. No, he really posted that. I'm serious. Okay, frankly, this is crazy. Absolutely crazy. Couple of things right off the bat. This is coming from a 4chan leak. I know. 4chan leak. Oh my God, I can't handle it. Look. I'm going to explain why I actually do kind of buy into this more than I deny it, and we'll explain that at the end of the video, but you should know it is a 4chan leak. Take it with a gigantic grain of salt. Next up, because I actually do buy into this, potential spoiler warning for crazy, ridiculous stuff that will be happening in the MCU very soon. So now I'm going to read right from the 4chan post about what the leak is. Then I want to talk about this report from MCU Cosmic that seems to corroborate some of this, and then I'll speculate. Okay, it says right here, the S.W.O.R.D Disney Plus project is called Marvel's Secret Warriors, and the first season consists of 6 episodes. Marvel has an eye on this for a 2022 release date for the show, which they'll call Secret Warriors. Originally planned to be 8 episodes of Disney Plus, called S.W.O.R.D, but unlike its predecessors, Marvel's Secret Warriors will now be focused on the superpowered individuals and not the background agents. The reason the episodes came down to 6 instead of the original 8, as I had reported earlier, is due to each episode script being increased to 120 pages. Victor Cole is one of the victims of the Terrigen Mist released on the surface of Earth by the Kree during the 5-year time gap. Captain Marvel and Miss Marvel will appear in the first episode. The story of Supergiant and Thane was changed from the comics. In this version, both are progenitor twin children of Thanos. Thane and Supergiant now lead Thanos' empire with an iron fist. After learning about their father's death, they go to Earth and seek revenge. Meeting S.W.O.R.D and the Secret Warriors, along with Captain Marvel, they are forced to withdraw from their invasion and come up with a plan. The first episode is written by Jon Favreau. Victor Cole won't turn out to be the villain like he was in the Marvel Rising animated TV show, but there are hints throughout Season 1 that would lead the character down a similar route to that of a Star Wars fan favorite character. The Marcus storyline from Deadly Class would be the closest representation to Victor Cole's life in the MCU before he is recruited by Fury or the Secret Warriors, created as a response to the Avengers team. Secret Warriors are the Secret Avengers working under S.W.O.R.D. Talos suffers a great loss at the hands of the Kree Empire and becomes an experimented Super Skrull by the end of the season. His story gets set up for a role in Captain Marvel 2. It says here, Maria Hill dies during the final episode along with Thane in an explosion that will destroy parts of S.W.O.R.D's base, and the Skrulls will suffer the most losses from those actions. Thane will have a much bigger role than Supergiant in the first season, but Supergiant is said to be the villain and focus of the second season. Victor Cole will also have a small cameo in Shang-Chi and the Legends of the Ten Rings. Okay, as I said, absolute insanity there. And don't worry, we're going to talk about a lot of that. But now, let me explain partially why I buy into this a little bit more than I deny it, and that would be all about the timing here. Now, look, I'm going to put up an article here that Jeremy Conrad wrote over at MCU Cosmic. This was written back on May 6th. And in this article, he's talking about a report from Geeks Worldwide that happened a day prior to that, talking about how there is a Secret Warriors project over at Marvel Studios that is looking for a writer. Jeremy goes on to confirm that this report is accurate, and more than that, the Secret Warriors project lines up with a lot of rumors about what Marvel was looking to do specifically on the TV side. Okay, so Jeremy goes on to talk about in that article how there's a lot of rumors that the 7th and final season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. would have some kind of setup or spin-off being teased, which would be this sort of Agents of S.W.O.R.D, which could possibly be on ABC. This is a big rumor out there. You know, he's kind of speculating that it could actually happen because Kevin Feige did meet with ABC about possibly doing a new series or show for ABC television, okay? Interesting stuff. And so you might be asking yourself, like, I don't get it. Why would that report by Geeks Worldwide or the confirmation of that report by Jeremy Conrad make you believe this leak a little bit more? Well, it all has to do with the timing. You see, they scooped this at the very beginning of May, way earlier this month, at least 20 days, depending on when you watch this video, at least 20 days prior to this scoop, or rather leak, coming out on 4chan. Likely, Geeks Worldwide had that information way before that. You know, with these scoopers, they like to sit on things. They like to have multiple sources confirm things. So they likely knew that that was happening, I would say at least a week or two before that, right? So that puts it into the middle of last month. And so what I think is happening here is that that timing would actually make sense. Currently, right now, Marvel is actually getting a lot of writing done, and they're working with a lot of writers. We were following the story of She-Hulk and how Dana Schultz was talking about how she was wrapped up already on that with the writer's room and totally done with that and looking for more work. They're pretty quick at this sort of stuff, and we know, especially with projects developed by Kevin Feige, they don't just give complete and total carte blanche to these writers. The writers have things they have to fit into the series. They have more or less outlines for the major events and how the flow of the story will go, and then the writers get in there and actually do sort of like the grunt work of doing the actual teleplay writing. Like, what are the actors actually going to say? How are they actually going to shoot this thing? Etc., etc. Well, if you're looking at what's in this leak from 4chan, it's those basic beats. It's those things they want people to be hitting, okay? And so what I think could actually be happening here is that someone involved with this process is actually leaking these beats out there online. Now, I don't know that. I can't prove that, but it tracks. It lines up for me. So I think that there's actually an opportunity for this to be real. I should also mention that this person is someone that had leaked stuff about WandaVision that looks to be at least partially correct. So kind of seems like they do know or have some kind of contacts with people over at Marvel Studios, okay? So, I don't know, man. I'm like a 60% on this, and a lot of things could still probably change and be worked out. But now let me just nerd the F out about why this is so amazing. Number one, don't bury the lead Geeks Worldwide and leaker person on 4chan or whatever. The big story here is that Thane is actually coming to the MCU along with Supergiant. Supergiant is going to be turned into a twin of Thane, and they're the actual children of Thanos, and they're going to take over Thanos' empire. That is absolutely insane. If you don't know who Thane is an inhuman son of Thanos that does have a huge story. A lot of crazy things happen around this character in Marvel Comics. I just personally love this character because he's like a little mini Thanos, super powerful. He actually gets kind of powered down after this event in the comics, but either way, that character is fascinating. Next amazing and crazy thing is all about the Talos character, right? Ben Mendelsohn's Skrull character. Now, if you've been watching me for any sort of time, you know I'm not the biggest fan of the good guy Skrulls. It was a big hang up for me with the Captain Marvel movie. I'm just not a fan. I want the Skrulls to be evil. I know there's been good Skrulls in the comic books, but like to do that sort of babyface turn with the Skrulls in Captain Marvel, I wasn't a big fan, okay? Now, if they are actually going to take the Ben Mendelsohn Talos Skrull character and have him lose a lot to the Kree and then get experimented on and become the Super Skrull, I mean, dude, just sign me all the effing way up. I love the idea of the Super Skrull. Marvel just got the ability to actually make the Super Skrull. If they make the Super Skrull with Fantastic Four DNA, that could backdoor in explanations about what they eventually do with the Fantastic Four and that family and how they've maybe tangoed with the Skrull in the past. That is apparently on track and could be coming out with Ant-Man 3, which is all kind of starting to line up. You see how all these pieces could actually pull together? Absolutely fascinating. Another amazing thing in this leak that has huge implications is the Terrigen Mist being put onto the planet Earth by the Kree during the 5-year gap. And why is this such a big deal? Well, because in Spider-Man Far From Home, which is the only film that exists outside of Endgame that gives us any kind of a look at what the MCU world looks like post-blip, they do talk about the Kree sleeper cells on planet Earth. There's a lot of talk about the Kree-Skrull War and Secret Invasion happening in some way in the MCU, possibly even happening in Captain Marvel 2. Well, what a better way to get that all started by putting in this story thread that the Kree were releasing the Terrigen Mist on planet Earth during that 5-year blip gap period, because we don't know a lot about what was going on there. You know, the communications were down, a lot of crazy things were going on. It's absolutely insane, and I think it ties in perfectly to the possibilities that are out there. Also, if Captain Marvel and Miss Marvel show up in episode 1, makes total and complete sense, as they are said to be heavily involved with S.W.O.R.D, which kind of makes sense. I mean, you know, we see that at the end of Spider-Man Far From Home in the post-credit scene. Nick Fury is out there, possibly creating the S.W.O.R.D base, and the whole idea of that would be doing some kind of a safeguard against an invasion like Thanos, right? They want to be able to stop something like that. And if Thane and the armies of Thanos actually come to Earth, wouldn't it be absolutely insane to see that actually fought off by people out there for S.W.O.R.D? That is crazy. Now, Victor Kroll is a really interesting aspect to this whole story. I'll be honest with you, I don't know a lot about this character, but as I researched him, I came to realize that he was an Inhuman, but he has some kind of freak out. He also has one of the 10 rings from the Mandarin and that whole thing, right? The Fin Fang Foom alien rings. He has one of them and uses it, right? And there's this one point in the comic where apparently he has some bizarre freak out and ends up killing a lot of people, including his own actual biological father. It's a super bad look, very dark, and then he gets exiled from the Inhuman community. He doesn't even fully transform into an Inhuman and gets kicked out of the Inhumans. That would be really interesting, and considering what we think is going on with the Miss Marvel character and her and the new royal family, and I say new only because it's not going to be that ABC Scott Buck garbage, but it'll be actual Inhumans in the MCU. I think that it just is crazy to think that this thing could be tying into all of those different things. And as far as that last part about him showing up in Shang-Chi, we were told that Shang-Chi is going to have a bunch of crazy characters in that tournament, and that, you know, absolute crazy stuff would be going on there, and you'd be seeing not only MCU fan favorites, but potential characters that will be, you know, picked up in the story moving forward. So to me, this is either one of those incredibly well-crafted, borderline trolling plot leaks that has zero basis, that is just so well done by a very nerdy person that I just want to tip the hat to, or, please God, please, hopefully, please, come on, please, Lord Feige, we trust in you. It's true. And oh my God, if it's true. I'll just be a really happy nerd. So I don't know about you guys, but I absolutely love this stuff. I want to know what you think about this. What do you think about the plot leak? What do you think about it possibly being true? Do you think this should live on Disney Plus or ABC? Whatever your thoughts are about this crazy plot leak for the MCU, let us know in the comment section below. And now let's shout out Althea17. Yes, indeed, it was Mary Jane that said, "Face it, Tiger, you just hit the jackpot." And now let's ask another nerd card question before we get out of here. I want to know what really obscure mutant character is said to make an appearance fighting in the Shang-Chi tournament. Answer that question in the comment section below. If you absolutely need more nerdy content in your life, click or tap over there to watch some more of our videos, or come on by our live streaming channel where we live stream every day, Monday through Friday, starting at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Like this video if you liked it. If you want to take your support to the next level and join the amazing list of people you see below, check out our Patreon for some behind-the-scenes content. As I always say, I hope you're having an awesome and a nerdy day, and I'll see you in the next video.